Hello, everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Everybody, come on in. So, come on in, everybody. Wow. All right. So, y'all know I Google everything. So, I'm surprised that Google did not have any type of, um, what do you call that? What do you call those artworks that they do every month um, to shout out any type of historical figure or historical markings, basically. I'm surprised that Google did not have one for Black History Month this year. Usually they do. So let me see. It might be. Let me see. Yeah, no. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. All they did was put celebrate Black History Month with Google. Okay, let me go ahead and click this link. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of off topic because I was expecting some sort of doodle, whatever they call it, art and culture. Uh, okay, so they have a link that's catering to Black history. Okay, and yeah, I guess that's nice. Okay, I can't go completely off on Google this time, but anyways, I was expecting something else. Um, this is new. They could have done both, I feel like. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started, y'all. Oh Lord. All right, hello, hola, konnichiwa, ni hao, assalamu alaikum, and best of all, say welcome back to my Subshirt Show. This is Nameless Fame, and I'm your host, Carolyn Pompolis, also known as ZKEL. So, what is the message for you all today? So, today is February 1st, 2023, currently 12:45 p.m. So, all right, let's go ahead and redo the episode that I uploaded on my channel. I was able to read a couple of passages or a couple pages off of this new book that I am reading. And I would encourage you all to get it. It is called It Didn't Start With You: How Inherited Family Trauma Shaped Who We Are and How to End the Cycle. So the author is Mark Wolin, and definitely let's get started because I have another episode that I want to do catering to Tyree Nicholas, I believe is his name, or Nichols, Tyree Nichols, I believe his name is. But yeah, so let's go ahead and stick with this topic, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. All right, so let's get started. So if you do have the book, go ahead and go to page 16. So let's go ahead and start. This is for chapter 1, traumas that are lost and found. So emerging trends in psychotherapy are now beginning to point beyond the traumas of the individuals to include traumatic events in family and social history as a part of the overall picture. Tragedies varies in types and intensity, such as abandonment, suicide, war, or early death of child, parent, or sibling can send a shock wave of distress cascading from one generation to the next. So, recent development in the field of cellular biology, neuroscience, epigenetics, and development psychology underscores the importance of exploring at least three generations of family history in order to understand the mechanism beyond or behind patterns of trauma and surrounding and suffering that repeats. The following stories offers a vivid example. So his first patient named Jesse, all right, he changed everyone's name for obviously privacy purposes, right? So anyway, his first patient, Jesse, had not had a full night's sleep in more than a year because of his insomnia. His insomnia was evident in his dark circles around his eyes, but the blankness of his stare suggested a deeper story. Though only 20, Jesse looked at least 10 years older. He had sunken into my sofa with his legs like he could no longer bear his weight. Jesse explained that he had been a star athlete, a straight A student, but his persistent insomnia had initiated a downward spiral of depression and despair. As a result, he dropped out of college and had to forfeit his baseball scholarship. He had worked so hard to win, and he is desperately seeking help to get his life back in track. Over the past year, he had been to 3 different doctors, 2 psychiatrists, psychologist, 1 sleeping clinic, and 1 naturopathic physician. Not one of them was able to help him relating to his sleep. Jesse, gazing mostly at the floor as he shared his story, told me that he was at the end of his rope. So he had no idea what triggered his insomnia, okay? But sleep had always come easy for Jesse, okay? Then one night, just after his 19th birthday, he woke up suddenly at 3:30 a.m. He was freezing, shivering, unable to get warm no matter what he tried. 3 hours later, several blankets later, Jesse was still awake. Not only was he cold and tired, he was seized by a strange fear he had never experienced before. A fear that something awful could happen if he fell back asleep. If I go to sleep, I will never wake up. Every time he felt himself drifting off, the fear would just jolt him back into wakefulness. A pattern repeated itself the next night and the next night after that. Soon, insomnia became a nightly ordeal, and Jesse knew his fear was irrational, yet he felt helpless to put an end to it. So he listened to Jesse speak, and what stood out to him the most was unusual details such as extreme cold, freezing, and prior to his first episode. I began to explore with Jesse and asked him if anyone, either in his family, suffered any trauma involving being cold, being asleep, or being 19. So Jesse revealed that his mother had only recently told him about a tragic death of his father's older brother, an uncle that he had never heard before. Uncle Colin. So Uncle Colin was only 19 when he froze to death checking the power line in a storm just north of Canada. So tracks in the snow revealed that he had been struggling to hang on. Eventually, he was found face down in a blizzard, having lost consciousness from hypothermia. His death was a tragic loss that the family never spoke of his name again. Now, 3 decades later, Jesse was unconsciously revealing aspects of Colin's death, specifically the terrors of letting go into unconsciousness. For Colin, letting go meant death. For Jesse, falling asleep must have felt the same. So it continues. That was the first episode. Now, in an attempt to explain stories such as Jesse, scientists are now able to identify that biological markers, evidence that traumas can and do pass down from one generation to the next. Okay, now, he used another example, another client. He said here, let me see, Gretchen. So, Gretchen. Okay, so now Gretchen, page 20 now. Okay, so Gretchen told me she no longer wanted to live for as long as she could remember. She had struggled with emotions so intense that she barely contained the surge in her body. Gretchen had been admitted to several psychiatric hospitals, which she was diagnosed with bipolarism, severe anxiety disorder. Medication brought her slight relief, but never touched the power of suicidal urges that lived inside her. As a teenager, she would self-injure by burning herself with lit ends of cigarettes. Now, 39, Gretchen had enough. Her depression and anxiety, she said, had prevented her from even getting married or having children. And surprisingly, matter of fact tone of voice, she told me that she was planning to commit suicide before her next birthday. Listening to Gretchen had a strong sense that there must be a significant trauma in her family tree. In such case, I find it unusual to pay close attention to the words being spoken for clues to traumatic incidents underlining a client's symptom. When I asked her how did she plan to kill herself, Gretchen said that she was going to vaporize herself. And her plan was literally to leap off a vape of molten steel at the mill where her brother worked. My body will literally incinerate in seconds, she said, staring directly into my eyes even before it reaches to the bottom. I was struck by her lack of emotion. She spoke. Whatever feeling lay beneath appeared to had been vaulted deep inside her. At the same time, the word vaporize, incinerated, rattled inside me. Having worked with many children and grandchildren whose family were affected by the Holocaust, have learned to let their words lead me. So I wanted Gretchen to tell me more. I asked her if any of her family was Jewish or had been involved in the Holocaust. Gretchen started to say no, but then stopped herself and recalled a story about her grandmother. She had been born into a Jewish family in Poland, but converted to Catholicism when she came to the U.S. in 1946 and married Gretchen's grandfather. So, 2 years earlier, her grandmother's entire family had perished in an oven by the Nazis. So, they had literally been gassed, poisoned, and vaporized, incinerated, and no one in Gretchen's immediate family ever spoke to her grandmother about the war or about the faith of the siblings or her parents. Instead, as is often the case with such extreme trauma, they avoid the subject entirely. So, Gretchen knew the basic facts of her family history, but had never connected it to her own anxiety and depression. It was clear to me that the words she used and the feelings she described didn't originate with her, but had the fact originated with her grandmother and the family members who lost their lives. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop reading now. Okay. So why did I read that? I read that because it goes to show the importance of one's history, okay? One's family history, one's family's trauma, and mental health, okay? It all links together, okay? It's all one piece. It's all a puzzle that you have to try to fit in and try to make sense of, to why people are the way they are and operate the way they are, okay? And this is why I went back, saying, okay, how do we fix this? Because I'm not saying only Black people have trauma, have mental illness, but how do people heal from it? I myself, I could only talk about my experiences, right? So from my monologue or my daily audio recordings, and for about a year now, going on 2 years, I have finally been able to connect the dots, right? I still have questions, okay? I still have questions, okay? So I asked myself the other day, with dreams of being in a plantation or having flashbacks and things of that nature, not only of just the negative or slavery, but even going back to being a Taino woman, right? A Native American woman. So my bloodline goes far. And for me to be able to recall these incidents, is it my ancestors giving me those visions, or is it me having the ability to time travel? Like, there's a lot of questions, but so I was able to date back all the way to the 16th or the 1500s, okay? Now, being able to go back that far, can I go even further? And why did I go back as far as the 1500s or 1600s? And I recall saying, I can timestamp those flashbacks or those memories because of these traumatic incidents. But am I able to go further? And why I don't remember further incidences, was it because there wasn't any trauma or uh, or yeah, why could I not go further? Was it because there wasn't any trauma to be recorded in my RNA or DNA? Or is it being blocked? Or what is it, right? So anyway, that was my inner thought. So anyway, so yeah, yesterday I came across a video where this young lady, black woman, black, she was black. This young lady got in her car and she started crying and she said, "Oh my God, I just got laid off as of January 15th. And I felt as though I was getting set up. You know, I work hard. I'm a hard worker. I'm a this. And I have become the token black lady at the job. But that did not secure my position. And I was, laid off. And I don't, and she was saying that instead of getting a promotion, which she did get a promotion for only 2 weeks, and some way, somehow, she still ended up getting, the short end of the stick, and was replaced by a white woman. So she continues to say, oh, she doesn't need a reparations, she doesn't need this, blah, blah, blah. But that was uncalled for, and that was, obviously messed up, right? So I'm over here like, why did you even have to include reparations? Like, girl, you telling your story. It doesn't matter what race you are. You can get, laid off any fucking time, right? So, but anyway, I'm bringing this up because I mentioned reparations a couple episodes prior to this one. And words like that don't appear just randomly, okay? So I will say she did mention that because of my rebuttal or whatever, my venting and using that word specifically because again, black people don't use those vocabulary words like reparations and slavery and blah 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 on a daily basis. So I'm gonna say, yeah, that's tying up to what I said, that yeah, trauma does affect black people throughout the world, not just in America, but throughout the world. And reparations is definitely needed and need to be talked about, because I can even use that lady as an example. You understand what I'm saying? She's constantly having to struggle, even with her ancestors being the sole, the builder of this country. You understand what I'm saying? And not being able to reap the benefits of them being the sole builder of this country. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah, to the girl who lost her job not too long ago, I don't know if your race had to do with you being fired. Yes, we do know black people are the ones that get fired first. That's for sure. However, you need to look at the whole picture. I said what I said, and due to the fact that you basically threw me under the bus, and that goes to show the disconnect, the disunity that black people have. And that is why a solution or a way of healing or a way of solving coming up with a solution is never going to happen because of the lack of unity. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have anything better to say, just shut the fuck up, get off the internet. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or just, if you're gonna go on social media and cry your eyes out about how you were done wrong by the other race and blah blah blah, don't throw people that are looking out for you under the bus. You understand what I'm saying? You going against what I say is setting me 10 times back. You understand what I'm saying? So unity is definitely needed in the community. I don't give a fuck where you come from. I don't care if you are from the Caribbean. I don't give a fuck if you from goddamn Nigeria. We all have been affected by the same tragedy. So therefore, we need to unite, okay? We need to come in one accord and repeat after me, okay? Activism is definitely in my bloodline, point blank period, but maybe that's why I speak up all the time about unfairness and inequality and blah blah blah. And as a woman, I do speak for women, not just for black women, but women in general. So anyway, stop throwing me under the bus when I'm trying to fucking come up with a solution. And me having the mic, obviously I have a great responsibility, so I take time. When I stop in my tracks and try to gather my thoughts, that means I am trying to handle the situation with care. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm trying to come up with the best way to deliver my message, because I don't want anybody to twist my words or anything like that. But yeah, allow me to process my words carefully. That is what I do when I pause. Do you understand what I'm saying? So stop throwing me under the bus, black women, okay? Shut the fuck up and just repeat after me, okay? You may not agree. If you disagree, don't say nothing. If you agree, repeat after me, all right? Because I do have your back, and I would not abandon you. I would not abandon you because I am a black woman. Why would I abandon myself? If I abandon you, if I throw you under the bus, I will do myself an injustice. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand that. So with that being said, happy Black History Month, y'all, everybody. All right. So yeah, let me go ahead and close this episode and do another episode regarding the young black man that lost his life. So check that out, okay, y'all? And the young lady who lost her job, I will use you as an example again in my next episode. So chillax, relax, and enjoy the show, all right? So let's go ahead and close this episode with our theme song, which is #123ONLY. 123ONLY, nameless fame. Yeah, that's me. 123ONLY. All right, till next time. Bye.